guys ready?
Welcome to another episode of the True Beast Podcast, brought to you by xdog.com, where you can find the world's greatest fitness and health enhancement harness for dogs, the X-Dog Fitness Vest. Exercising your dog has never been easier than with the X-Dog Fitness Vest. So if you're looking to invest into your dog's health, be sure to check out xdog.com. And today, me and my boy Trevor over here.
What's up?
We're going to talk about how to build an amazing team and how to fill in gaps that you may be weak in when it comes to your overall life or whatever goals that you're trying to pursue. How was your weekend, man?
Oh man, put it like this. Ghetto Partner's girlfriend, she says, "How many days have you been up now?" I said, "It's been a long time. It's been a long time."
Yeah.
You just go delusional at some point, but we're being productive. Some things are getting done. So it was good. I spent some time with Chris Moore and Gina over there at the iBulldog. Really worked through some kinks with them and their business, and I've got a solid plan for them, and they're super grateful and appreciative. So just adding some fuel to everybody's fire.
Yeah, when you think about that, like you said right there with Chris and Gina, they have an amazing product in the category that they're focusing on. But there was an area that they were lacking, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you came in and you helped strengthen that area. Right?
Absolutely. And trust me, the strengthening part is going to take a lot of work. But when you're around people who are willing to do the work, it gets easy. It gets easy because they just let you do your job and say, "Hey, press play. This is what I need you to do." They're like, and they literally, "What are we shooting today?
Yeah,
let's get to it."
One of the things, what is this? January 5th, is the beginning of the new year. A lot of people have this new year, new me, like if they're going to fucking change, right?
Fuckery is what it is.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy. I started really thinking about it. I was like, man, if everybody would just treat every single day like it's January 1st of the new calendar year, every single day, imagine where they're going to be at by the actual next calendar year. Because everybody's so gung-ho that first day. Some are gung-ho for a couple days. Some are gung-ho for a week. I started, as we talked about before, I started developing new habits 2 months ago. You know what I mean? To try to get in there. And, this year, I did use the beginning of the calendar year just to actually start planning and really executing my days and knowing my days and knowing my months and what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that map, man, how they talk about it, right? A lot of people go to war and then plan to win, where you should be planning to win and then going to war, right? And so, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, on the whole new year, new me?
Oh man, I think it's a waste of fucking time, to be clear. I fucking hate that shit with a passion. Matter of fact, I hate when someone asks me, "How was your day?"
Yeah.
I'm like, the day ain't fucking over.
Yeah.
What the fuck you asking me that for? My day isn't a 9 to 5. I'm a 24 to lifetime kind of person. So the day, the new year, the new me, get the fuck out of my face is how I feel about it. Personally. And I mean, I'm going to put up an edict today. Hey, if what you're doing doesn't add value, if I can't put $10 million in your pocket, by association, do not hit my line. And you will no longer get replies because I'm like, this is it. I told my partners about some big opportunities I didn't execute on. People who wanted me at the tape. They was gonna give me money just to be with them because they were like, this can get done if you be you.
Yeah.
I've been offered opportunities since I was wee young, and some people really I just like, no, I'm good. Because money's never been the motive, and it's still not. But if I can show people how to be successful, and success starts with every day making a choice to do that. So as far as I'm concerned, yesterday was a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm already planning for the next 5 years.
Yep.
That's how I live.
Yeah, and I think that's how you got to do it. I mean, when I look at our podcast, here today, I would say about 2 months ago, people kind of knew about it, but they didn't really know about us. And then we had to align ourselves with the right people in the industry, right?
Not only that, we talked about planning. We knew that there was going to be a pivotal moment. So in some regard, you had a plan in getting us prepared and kind of getting that podcast going. So by the time we hit ABKC Nationals, it all came together.
Yeah, and then we hit hard.
Yeah, and it did, because now people want to hear some of the people we spoke to.
Yeah.
And then those people shared it with people that they like and love, and their loved ones jumped on. And believe me, there's people. If it's just 10 or 2 more people listening, that's 2 more people that know 2 more people.
Yeah.
And if you continue to construct, this plan of success and content development, which basically is, in this case, it's product associated with this podcast, it builds that customer experience. And now people want to be supportive of X-Dogs, period.
Yeah.
Because of the time we took to show their loved ones respect and honor and their right. And that at this point in time was a dog show.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because when you think about it, man, when you're producing a product, right, you got to have, like you sent this video of Kevin O'Leary, and one of the things that stood out to me in that whole thing was that he loves to help companies tell their story.
Yep.
Right? He loves to help tell their story. And, having a podcast, having a videographer, these are areas in my life that, in our business that we were lacking, right? And to be able to help not just tell the story, but to present the story with a visual as well, right?
Very much so.
And so I was sitting with my team yesterday because we have an affiliated program, what we call is the Team X Dog Partnership Program, which is an influencer / ambassador program, because let's face it, a lot of you guys are online, social media. And so if you're going to be on there, you might as well try to make some money anyways, right? And take the time out there and start educating a lot of people. And I was kind of explaining to them, there's 3 things you need to focus on, right? Education, inspire, and entertain. And then I was like, on the education side, that's pretty much easy. You can discuss how to solve problems with dogs, or you can utilize the products and explain what problems does the product solve, right? And stuff like that. You can educate them on how to use the product. That's an easy part. Entertainment could be just videos of you training your dog and actually just working with your dog. And inspiration could fall in the category of a success story, right? Because a lot of our clients, man, are either dog trainers, or they are in dog shows or dog sports, protection sports, or even they're breeders, or they're pet retail stores and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of ways and angles that they could take to start entertaining and educating people and inspiring people, man, because let's face it, man, entrepreneurship is hard as fuck, and it's that's just the reality of it. It's almost a thankless job, right? Like a lot of people quit their 9 to 5 to work 24 hours a day, and try to fit in their days. But at the end of the day,
I don't know that it's thankless, if you would, because I'm sure you're thankful for the opportunity to be better every day.
Yeah.
So even those people, like, is it really about not getting the pat on the back from others, or is it really about appreciating the fact that you can control your time, be it 24 hours a day, versus the 9 to 5 being really, I think the job side oftentimes is the place you don't get thanked.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they on some fuck you type shit.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a meme the other day where somebody was like, the day you die, they just put up your job for somebody else. So don't kill yourself working for somebody to get nothing in return, because at the end of the day, they'll forget about you. I had a kid named Gabe Gill one time, and I told the coach, for instance, he should not get his ankle's not ready.
Yeah.
Well, he needs to talk. Blah, blah, blah. I said, Brian, I'm trying to hear that.
Yeah.
It's 30 degrees in Kansas City to play a football game. He goes in for 2 plays. Matter of fact, I said, okay, if you're going to let him do it, let me warm him up. Let me make sure he's good to go.
Yeah.
And no, he needs, I'm like, 2 plays, coach, and he'll be out. What happened? 2 fucking plays, and he's on the fucking crutches, now sitting behind. And kid ended up going to Holy Cross. But I remember going back, I said, Gabe, you see nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
Because the game got to go on.
Yeah.
So while you trying to honor this coach and everything, and he's like, don't give a shit. I said, here you are, and ain't nobody even standing back here in the fucking cold with your ass.
Well, speaking of footballs and injuries, what is your thought on Antonio Brown and his situation and how he handled it?
Well, I actually know his father. The irony is I was brought in to deal with Eddie. He was at Washington High School down in, I believe it was either Washington or Wyandotte High. I believe it was Wyandotte. And I'll just tell you this, they're both prideful individuals.
Yeah. I
personally met his father, and I remember the guy who wanted me to meet him. He said, Trev, why was you acting like that? You like sabotage everything. I said, man, fuck him. I said, bro, you said, bro, I can't work with somebody like this. I can't deal with pride and ego.
Yeah.
I don't even like going there, but I've got it. But I have no envy. So they all got their own issues, and some of them think they deserve more than they deserve. And that's not to say he's not a great football. Like they said, even Stephen A. said, we not arguing football.
Yeah.
The man's cold in football. That's the bottom line. Man can play football, point blank.
Yeah.
The argument is who he is as a person, and this is the other thing I'm going to say that's going to rub some folks the wrong way. Some of the worst leadership is in the black and brown community. It's just the facts. Who are we looking up to? Nobody.
Yeah.
So when we're going back to building a team, it is very hard for me, personally, because of my experiences, to work with my color, to say the least. And them understand that you have to work to get there.
Yeah.
And that it takes 1,000 reps to get one fucking thing correct. And patience is the name of the game.
Yeah.
But think about your leaders in the black and brown community. Who's it that you want to be like? I'll wait. How many billionaires are at the top of the list? I'm not saying we're not on the list, but at the top of the list that have influenced change.
Yeah.
Very few and far in between, and none But I think there's about 7 to be correct. So,
Well.
and again, you don't hear about them because you have to take on that role of leadership. So who do we always see? The Elons, the Bezos. At one time, you saw Gates regularly, and you always saw Jobs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You see Buffett, at top to Larry Ellison.
Yeah.
You go, damn, why can't, well, we can, but y'all want to sing, dance, hop, and skip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't own none of that music no way. You know, that's a whole nother conversation, but team, man. Team. What are the things you look for when you are putting together a team, and what have you learned from the choices you've made prior to building your team?
Well, the first thing now that I look at is I really look at the individual's core values and the personality traits, because at the end of the day, if our values are not aligned, they're not going to fit well in here. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like, you're a hard worker. You're very upfront. You know what I'm saying? You're very bold. But the bottom line is that you put in the fucking work, and that's the bottom line. You know,
that's
like
it.
Either you're going to outwork me or you can work with me. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be hard as fuck to outwork me. And so
it is, and that's why I tell you want to join forces. I assure you, because I'm not going to stop or feel bad. Like, I'm just going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and so, I have a group called the Team X Dog Partnership Group. I created the group on Facebook. It's just, full of individuals who have signed up for our partnership and qualify for our partnership program. And yesterday we were discussing about the series about our vitamin series, right? Which we offer 2 different products. And when it comes to developing products, guys, the number one question I always ask myself is, what problem does this product solve, right? Because if you can solve a problem, you're always going to be in business, And so, obviously, the vitamin market in the vitamin category in our industry, in all industries, is very saturated and tough. So it's very hard to separate yourself. So as I took some of the top 20, multivitamins on the market, I started seeing a trend, and that trend was, one, they had a low nutrient value. So for example, they had like between 18 on the low end, up to 28. And so I said, okay, we got to make our product more nutrient rich and more nutrient dense. So for gram, that's what really separates the True Beast and Show and the Vitabully, right? Mm-hmm. And what problem does it solve? The problem it solves is that it fills in nutritional gaps that are commonly found in a lot of diets. A lot of people go, well, I feed this brand of kibble, and it has it's all natural, right? And then you turn the bag around. I would say at least 95%, but maybe even higher. And you would probably know because you've been doing a lot of research on foods.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a bag of processed kibble or commercial kibble that is not infused with vitamins, right? Yeah. And so when I had talked to actually Michael, the new graphics guy that we're bringing on, right?
Okay.
He didn't realize, he's like, no, I just feed my dog all natural, right? And
what's all natural?
Just the kibble, right? Like,
it's a brand called all natural.
No. People think, a lot of people in the community believe that when you feed dog kibble, right, just whether it's a high commercial brand or whatever, when it's, a lot of the branding on the bag says natural, all natural, and when you turn around the bag, you'll see about 30 different ingredients of vitamins, minerals, prebiotics, and in a lot of cases, those prebiotics, they're not live. And so a lot of people don't want to say that, but I found that out by creating dog food, so.
Yeah. And let me make sure it makes sense to you people. If you eat a half cup or a cup of oatmeal, you feel more full than when you eat 8 double cheeseburgers, because there is substance and there's resources in the oatmeal that your body needs, and it says in response to it's like, oh man, that was all we needed.
Yeah.
When you eat them, I can eat 5, 6, 7, I can eat a whole goddamn pizza. But if I eat some oatmeal and some eggs, I'm like tired. I'm full. In
addition to, there's certain type of preservatives and enzymes in some of those foods that they put in there that make you hungry again. I notice when I eat like shit, I'm always hungry.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons too.
Yeah,
for the wrong fucking reasons. So again, when he's breaking down percentages and stuff, it's that nutrition value. And unfortunately, dogs can't talk. So I've got some things that I've been looking at to help people better analyze what's good for the dog and what's not. But sustenance.
Yeah.
There's a difference in a dog and a dense dog. Like even the same breed, like, oh, this dog is more compact, more complete. And sometimes it's as simple as nutrition.
Yeah, it all has to do with nutrition. And we even segued into, Matt, he was listening to our other episodes and previous episodes, and what really caught his eye or his ear was that we talked about maximizing genetic potential. There's been a big fad where it's like it's just genetics, right? Yeah. And that says, okay, well, if that's the case, how about you feed your dog canned food, don't exercise it, right?
Yeah.
And then let me have that same dog, put it on my diet, right? And let me do my daily exercise program with it. And I guarantee you the phenotype of that dog is going to be completely different, right?
Exactly.
Same thing with humans.
Yeah, no, trust me. That part I do know. It's so interesting because, one of the first things that people do when they try to go and lose weight is go on a shake diet, right? Here's the problem when you do shakes. The shakes, basically you don't have the substance you need in your body, so the body begins to go into a state of glucogenesis, which is the breaking down of protein to supply yourself with the protein it needs because you're starving yourself. So somebody, and I'll just, say the Herbalifers, they'll sell you that meal replacement. There's no such thing as a meal replacement. So motherfucker be like, I lost 30 pounds. I said, they lift up their arm and that arm be shaking. Well, it's because you've now lost your muscle, not the shit you actually you lost the shit you need, not the fat. But you lost weight. But it's not good weight. Yeah. And that's a whole nother story. But so I get it, which is, again, why I'm here. And I believe in a lot of this stuff. And the irony is I come from a place where I don't take protein shakes. I don't take vitamins. Everyone who knows me knows I do not believe in supplementation. But the idea of supplements is, again, by definition, is to complete. So I know how bad my dog's food is. So when you're like, hey, bone and marrow, we've got that here. We've got the True Beast Best of Show for hip and joint. I know about glucosamine and the impact on joint and joint health that you can get from food and protein and, the branch chain amino acids and every last one of what those 22 chains do individually, even providing the antibodies to help you fight sicknesses. I go down that line. That's where I lived for a very long time, human-wise. So I completely get it, but vitamins often on the human side are protected by a Vitamin Act, and supplements as well. My bad. Supplements are protected by a Vitamin Act, so it's just you can put anything out there and sell it, long as it's got 50% of some product. Yeah. So when he's like really taking a look at the value of what the dogs aren't getting, his interest lies in making sure the dog's life and overall well-being is better. So I give my dog the supplements, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy when we start really looking at the industry. It's a very unique industry. If you don't really know it, it's just the way that they market and advertise to the everyday dog owner is very confusing and misleading in so many different ways.
Well, is it confusing? Or people don't want to know. It's kind of like them telling you this has little calories, right?
Yeah.
Only 200 calories. So 200 calories, my interpretation of 200 calories is, you don't have to do anything now. You can sit there and be a lazy fuck still. Yeah. That's what that really means to people. It's like, this doesn't have that many calories. I don't need to get up and exercise. But energy is energy. And if you sit on energy, because that's how calories are, is it expands. And so while you're sitting down because you're eating less calories, that doesn't mean you should do less effort. If anything, you should get up and do more, because now you could really get into a state of burning fat and bettering your quality of life. So they're very good at what they do marketing-wise, because it's confusing, but it ain't confusing to somebody like me because I'm informed.
Yeah. The problem is majority of people are uninformed,
And that's what we're here for, people.
And it's kind of crazy because you want to be able to trust companies and commercials and stuff.
No, you don't look. One of the rules in nutrition when you get into the fitness side, if you don't make it, don't eat it. Yeah. Because you can't trust it. We know that they're lying. Shit, they lying about the chicken at the store. It tells you. They got to put on there no antibodies, no steroids, and it's like, well, it was none until they got to here. Yeah. But we put something in after that.
Well, you got so many, especially now with social media, you got so many people trying to, it's like, dude, what do you actually put in your body? You got some guy going around saying kale is bullshit. You got another.
Oh, yeah, I saw that guy.
And then you start thinking about it, the way he talks about it is like, for example, fruit's not bullshit because the plant produces the fruit. So you eat the fruit to protect the vital body of the plant, which is like the leaves and the stems and stuff, right? So that's why they make it so sweet and so attractive, right? Yeah. And so you're like, well, I like eating a lot of fruit. And then you got another person saying, well, fruit is full of sugar and it's fucking shitty for you. You know what I mean?
But it's sucrose. Sucrose doesn't spike insulin levels versus, this is why they took high fructose corn syrup out of things. Sucrose, I believe, is the natural source of sugar that allows it doesn't spike your blood sugar levels, which then turns into fat.
And I don't know if you ever recognize this, but when you look on the bag of dog food, they don't measure carbs in animal feed.
They don't have to. Well, they would never do it. You should, but they.
But the problem is that when you look on the bag of dog food, there's rice, brown rice, wheat,
meal, and all that other stuff that goes into this. Yeah. Fillers, right?
And so when dogs who are, for example, on let's say a raw diet, right? Yeah. Or even an intermittent fasting diet, it was what I would identify because a lot of people train dogs, they don't feed them unless they come out of the crate, and when they come out of the crate, they have to work so they're fasting in a lot of ways, right? A lot of those dogs have a hard time putting on weight. When you look at a raw-fed dog, they're basically in ketosis all the time because they're eating nothing but...
There's a word you guys don't understand. That ketosis, that's one of my favorite words.
Yeah, they're. I mean, think about it. They're only eating proteins and fats.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's what they're eating, right? And so when they're like, well, I need to add some weight. How can I add more weight? Do I add more protein or fat? No, I'll suggest some ancient grains, even like cooked oatmeal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, it kicks them out. And next thing, man, my dog's gained weight. And it's like, it's a simple fix.
You need some glue, is what I call it, every now and then to help your dog sustain its overall development. For me, one of the things I add is Greek yogurt as well. It's one of those fillers / binding agents. It's kind of, which is like a oatmeal in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with the oatmeal and a lot of other things. Shit, I'll get a motherfucking bread.
Yeah.
Rice.
And so as we mentioned earlier, man, this product is designed to fill in nutritional gaps, and I figured like it could segue into a great thing that had my mind kind of moving, and started thinking about it is like, how can you create or develop and recruit a great team? How do you surround yourself around great individuals, and how do you identify your weaknesses? Because a lot of people, especially in certain games, are kennel blind, right? And they're also blind to their weaknesses in their life. So what would you suggest doing if you're an individual and you really want to like improve your life and to identify your weaknesses?
Well, I think, there's a book called Strength Finders. I think it's got a 2.0 version now. And what we often do, unfortunately, is go into our weaknesses. Now, it's good to know what you're not good at, so you don't focus on like, I'm going to get better there. No, bro. You might not never be a 3-point shooter. Yeah, it's just the facts. Yeah, So let's focus on what you can do.
Yeah,
and thrive there. And it's just like I went to a health symposium one time, and just like on the wellness side of things, how do we reward the people who are doing what they're doing? Reward the people who are doing what they're doing, and fuck those other people. Yeah, it's really that simple. So when I'm identifying traits in a team, I'm looking at things that they are strong in general without focusing on their weaknesses. And once I see their weakness, we'll have that conversation. Yeah. But for the most part, the best way, first and foremost, is to lead by example. Yeah. You got to know who you are. If you have 6 or 7 people in a room, they should bleed what you bleed. One of my favorite parts of a documentary, and specific to Apple and Steve Jobs, was he said he'd been gone for 5-10 years. He'd come back and there were 6 or 7 people that were still working at Apple when it sucked. And he said, "What are you guys still doing here?" And they said, "We bleed 6 colors." And at the time, the old Apple logo was like black, red, orange, blue, and something. They bleed 6 colors. So whether he was there or not, they believed so much in it that they would never leave it. And that goes to say at 19, 20 years old, because by the time Steve was 20, $1 million, 25, $10 million. By the time he was 30, he was worth $100 million. So it wasn't a money thing. It was, I believe in this product. And that goes to leadership. So when I'm getting people to do things, or I'm asking them to do things, or I'm pushing their buttons and aggravating them a little bit, trust me, I live in a state of aggravation. Just because I know how much, like I said, when you said January 5th, I said put up a reel the other day. It's January 2nd. I already feel like I'm behind. Yeah, and trust me, I've done more than a lot of. It's kind of crazy.
I know exactly how you're feeling right now. Like I feel like every single fucking day, like I'm behind. Now I am planning, and I got my list right of here's these 5 things I need to get done. But then, for example, after we record this podcast, I'm kind of done for the day. But I'm not done because I look at my notes and I'm like, well, this is what I kind of do tomorrow. And I'm looking at tomorrow going, okay, well, I can just go ahead and get ahead, Yeah. And so that's what I've been trying to do. And it's just like, I'm on autopilot right now when it has my foot on the gas.
Yeah, and that's the same way. So after we identify our strengths and what it is we need to be and be to ourselves, it inspires people to be more for themselves. And then you break down and you have those, we'll say, intimate conversations, and you look back again when they're showing you product, going through 5 and 10 interviews at Google and all these places. They're getting a feel for who you are to see what you value and if your values are going to align with what they value. And the number one value is work. Yeah. And then from work, do you value, well, probably more so the person. Then we get to the workflow and what it is you aspire to be. Yeah. And then we work through that. And then I start pouring into these people regularly. I literally separate them, work with them individually. I have conversation with them all the time. And you just got to constantly pour into them. And then be straight up and honest and like, guys, I'm going to start raising hell, but keep in mind that hell's being raised in my life because they're around and people are calling me from before I wake up to the minute I go to sleep asking for help. Yeah. Period. One of my friends, he called me in the morning just to say, is it okay to buy this crypto? He makes $300,000 a year. Yeah. And he's just putting $550 in, but He's like this. If you say it's okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people who do well who trust my perspective because they know that I do the research, which means there's certain things I can't be worried about.
Yeah.
I got to focus on the things that I'm good at. Mm-hmm. So I could think I'm good at everything or I'm bad at this. These are the things I excel in. One is communication.
Yeah.
One is, building relationships and sales. That's where I'm always going to thrive. And in creativity.
Yeah.
And getting more efficiencies. Like, so when they bring me something, I look at, like Marcus Lemonis, people, product, and our people, process, and then the product.
Yeah.
Because if the people are good and we can improve the process, the product will speak for itself if it is a good product.
Yeah.
And, we were watching Prophet last night, but I told,
I love that show.
I'd say, hey, look, you need to run through the Prophet so you can get an idea of what he really does, because operations can ruin a business. And 9 out of 10 businesses are out there struggling because they lack operational efficiencies, because they lack goals and all this other stuff, and really looking at the numbers and so forth and so on. So I come in and I identify what's the base function of your business.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Walk me through that process.
Yeah.
Is there a start to 10 steps? I have 10 steps. If it's 3 steps, even better. But if we don't have the steps written down, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So you got to build that out for them. And then, like here in many companies, then I come in and I add value visually. So now the visual approach is increased because I can get the work done.
Yeah, and why that's really important, guys, is because when you're running a company or developing a product, as we mentioned earlier before we started this podcast, it's really important to be able to tell that story. When I invented the X Dog Vest, my vision behind it at the beginning was completely different than my vision now. My vision now is that I want to eliminate, and my mission is to eliminate dog obesity and help dog owners potentially extend the life of their dogs through fitness and nutrition, right? Like, that's where I'm going with it. But in order for that to happen, I have to be able to tell that story, whether it's verbally, whether it's through written content or through video, right? Well, I didn't have a videographer. I needed a videographer, through the podcast to be able to talk, to be able to explain to you why I'm telling you this story. I got to have a sound guy and a person who can put this together, I've got to have a great graphic person.
And then look at that. So that's the other thing too, telling the importance of assets. And what he's saying is he looked at where his liabilities were. That's what it comes down to, really.
Yeah. Liabilities
and assets. Something else I'm going to be talking about on my own page. I do a little rants, but it's liabilities and assets. If I had $100,000 and I could invest in one asset, that asset should bring me $100 million, or at least $1 million, 10 times on my. So you look at, again, the KPIs.
Yeah, and everybody's a part of your team. It is an investment. They are an asset,
Absolutely.
Or they're going to be a bill if you don't actually do your part as a leader and actually follow through, set goals like you said, and make sure you strategize and again, most importantly, follow through. Like, that's a big thing for me this year is planning, but not just planning and setting goals, but following through with my team and holding them accountable.
Yep.
We're not going to wing it this year, and so.
No, and I know there's a big goal here financially. We won't throw the numbers out there, but again, you only get to any goal with a plan.
Yeah.
And because keep in mind, it's okay if the plan doesn't work. That's the other part you got. Guys, it doesn't mean the plan's going to be like picture perfect. It means, we learned that we need to pivot and we need to do something different. That's not working.
Yeah, it's actually, I was watching a video of Rob the other day, and he kind of made it was something that caught my ear as well. Was that you learn a lot from your losses, but you also learn a lot from your success. Because there's some situation, because we always hear, it's never an L as long as you learn, but we never really look at success and go, man, I could have learned, I've learned some valuable things from there. Like with the launch of the vest, I learned so much of, even though we are kind of successful with it, it would be completely different if I had the knowledge now through my successes through that journey to take it to another level.
Yeah.
And so now I'm implementing those plans, like I don't have to worry. I'm not thinking about what products are we going to offer the community, like now it's all about painting the story, painting the story, creating the platform, putting it on video, and getting it out to the masses so they can actually visually see it as well.
And this is why you need good people in your life, people. It's very easy for us to get caught up in the negative, the drama. Every show is fed by hate, drama, and nonsense. There are more housewife bullshit shows on TV than there are old stuff. And I know y'all don't like Cosby, but at the end of the day, where it was Cosby, Family Matters, the other house show, there was a lot of family-based, be a better person, take care of your loved ones shows back in the day.
Yeah.
That being said, when you relish in the bad, you cannot embrace the good. And when good things are happening, you want to really embrace what took place. My favorite line Kevin Gates said was, if it never fails, then grind smarter. Because mind you, while we're being successful, it's like, oh, we did $1 million. When we could do 10?
Yeah.
When we could do 100 or 50? You know, it just should keep going up versus focusing on the hate. Now I'm gonna focus on the sale being executed and the fact that people are purchasing our product or our service or listening to what we have to say.
Yeah.
I do not dwell in a state of negativity. It does me no good, and it does me no good to put that energy out there, which is also why they talk about bad apples, right? It is some of us, we've been through a lot, and I'm one of them. I know Stan's been through quite a bit, and it's very easy to get caught up in the shit that we fucked up on. It's just, it happens.
Yeah.
But when you get over it and get rid of it, and the people around you, and I tell them, look, guys, that's why I said, just be honest. I can help you work through anything.
Yeah.
Literally. And I'm expecting some things to fuck up.
Yeah.
Mind you, I know this is not going to be perfect, but I'm expecting us to do the work.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. If we keep working at it, we will figure it the fuck out. And that's what's going to save us in the end, so we can do 10 more things that are going to bring us more success.
Yeah.
But I know, and I told Stan and my guys this too, I said, guys, before, and these are the conversations as a leader you really got to think. I said, guys, you guys are coming out such and such. I said, really embrace when we was having an ABKC National. I said, embrace what's about to happen this weekend. You're going to walk into a space where you've never seen this many dogs, or people love the dog and take boom, boom, boom. Really embrace the good that you're going to be right in the middle of.
Yeah.
And love it. And then think, man, I want to live here 1,000 more days of my life.
Yeah. And then when you get those good people, make sure you value them. You know, it's kind of ironic. Like, you know, I was telling you the other day. I was like, man, we're kind of attracting what we're needing in our life as far as filling those gaps. Now, you know, with the new guy that we're bringing on who's going to do the graphics. Ironically, he had reached out to you before, reach out to me. Listen to the podcast, put 2 and 2 together. Oh, Stan and Trevor fucking know each other, you know. But it was just one of those weird universal things where it's like you don't know how it happens. It just end up happening. But it was one of those first things where he was like, man, after we talked for a while, he's like, man, I really want to come on board and learn from you guys because you show that you value my work, and we do value. I value his work.
I posted it immediately. I was like, look at this shit. You sent it to me. I was like, damn, that shit's nuts.
Yeah, and I was like, but again, that's him going, let me show you what I can do for you. He wasn't going, hey, pay me up front, let me do this. It was like, here, this is what I'm going to do for you. This is what I can do. This is what my capabilities are. And I'm going to go, okay, well, let's bring you on board, man, because that shit's good.
So funny because a lot of times I'm the same way. Somebody do something good, I'm like, yo, I'm about to send you $500. Do 5 more. And they'd be like, for real? I'd be like, yeah, you was proactive. That's how I got with David. Like, in my mind, it just makes sense to do fucking work.
Yeah.
So, be it free or not, it's just like, just do the fucking work.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going on. And mind you, I have no expectation for the things that we just walked into. Even how I got here. It's like, I shot a video of another guy that they know, and they go, bro, that looks like a fucking commercial.
Yeah.
And now he's getting the same commercial. So,
yeah.
it all kind of like aligns because, and I reached out to him.
Yeah.
I said, hey, would you mind if I came out and shot a video? And I remember Stan saying, the other Stan, he goes, yeah, that's fine. He said, we didn't think nothing of, like, we had many people come out and do videos. And but we got that video. It was like, oh, fuck. That's a fucking game changer right there. That video's different. Hold on now. We need about 100 more of them bitches.
Yep.
But I love when people basically they don't expect things to look the way that they do and then get it that quick. So, you know, yeah, that's what I thought. But,
but other than that, man, you know, again, you know, I guess this episode, man, going into this year, what you really want to focus on is really trying to sit down. I mean, just because it's already past January 1st doesn't mean it's too late or anything. You can always sit down at any time and really go, hey, where do I need to fill in, you know, what areas am I weak in? Identify those areas and how can I fill those areas in? And
think of it this way too, and this is just a compliment what he's saying. What areas can I be better in?
Yeah.
We go back to the weakness, and I'm telling you, people, they live there, right?
Yeah.
So I look at it, what areas can I be better in?
Yep.
When I put Jamarcus on this, he knows I could do this.
Yeah.
It took him 2 seconds. I come on now.
Yeah.
But reality is I quantified this moment for him to learn a little bit more about himself, be around business. They said they wanted to do dogs such and such, and then put him in a position to be successful. So I said, what areas can I be better in? Hey, Rich, do you know about operations? What areas can I be better in?
Yeah.
Because I'm good at a lot of things, but what areas can I be a lot better in?
Mm-hmm.
And from that perspective, I bring in people who highlight things. Because now, see, I still have to, being a CEO as you are, and a boss, I still have to manage these things.
Yeah.
So I say, what areas can I be better in?
Yeah.
And because again, you know, people get in that weakness and like, oh, woe is me. I'm never gonna get the start.
Yeah.
But think about where I could be better in, and that's how I help everyone I come in contact. And even when you and me speak.
Yeah.
I've told you where I'm like, bro, they need you to do this. They need such and such. I'm only ever telling you how to be better.
Yeah.
Never talked about none of your weaknesses, this and that. I don't even know them.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, Stan, I think this would be better. That's how I lead even this stuff. Yeah. If we did this, and that.
Well, it's just like, you know, I identified, like, again, I sat down this year, going into this year, or even way before going this year, and identified my weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses is planning, and then planning ahead, and then executing that plan, and time management, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, certain habits that I had, you know, from alcoholism to, you know, smoking weed to watching porn. Like, this will be my first 100% sobriety year from all three of those things, right? And my energy levels are through the roof. I'm waking up early. I'm executing my days. I'm looking at my end of the day, going in tomorrow, going, damn, it's 5 o'clock. I did more than I expected to get done. I got it done. Now I'm going to get ahead of schedule. And so as long as I stay ahead, I'm going to constantly be executing, you know, and it's never ending. So I had to sit down and look in the mirror and go, hey, what am I weak at? And how can I strengthen those areas on a personal level? Because a lot of it has to do with, you know, yourself, you know. We talk about it all the time, you know. A lot of dog owners who own high-level dogs, I mean, that compete at the highest level in dog sports and dog training and stuff like that, vicariously live through their fucking dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
They ask their dogs to be extremely disciplined on what they've put in their body. They ask them to learn something new every single day. They ask them to work their ass off until full exhaustion, and their asses are sitting at home putting bullshit in their body, fucking, not exercising, not being disciplined, and online, criticizing other people. And so if you're one of those pieces of shits, you need to be able to say, look, I'm that piece of shit and I need to fix that, you know?
Yeah.
Stop vicariously living through your dogs.
Yeah. Live up to your own standard or expectations.
Exactly. But other than that, man, this was a fire-ass episode. And, next week we got a guest coming on named Will Garrido. He's a canine trainer, and I'm looking forward to picking his brain. And we're going to talk about how to develop your discipline muscle, so you're not going to want to miss that episode. But other than that, man, you got any last words?
No, I'm good.
Well, thank you guys, man. If you found some value, which if you were listening, you should find some massive value in this episode, please like it and share it. And don't just, you can leave a review, but man, go tell your friends about it, these like-minded individuals. One thing that I've always learned about in life is that you must share that value. The more you give to the universe and the more you give out there and not afraid, this is why we give so much free game out there. You guys can start your own supplement business. You can start your own non-consumable good or merchandise business, or, you can start your own videography team, whatever you want to fucking do. We're telling you how to do that shit because we understand the more that we give, we're not afraid of competition, and that competition is going to level us up anyways. And that's what I try to do in the industry, is I try to push the needle forward in the industry. I make them try to make better quality dog foods, make better supplements, make better products, because they cut so many corners. So whether they outdo me or not does not matter, because at the end of the day, my goal is to level up the industry. So thank you guys again, man, for always showing us love and support. And as always, Team X Dog Strong. Alright, that's episode. I got to piss. See, it's a lot different too when you got plans and
good ideas in that episode.
Huh?
So you guys gave me some good ass ideas, and I kept picking my phone, taking notes. I was like, shit. That was a good episode, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys. Shit. Dropping fucking nuggets.
That's the point.
Mm-hmm.